Hello and welcome to Excel Mathematics TV. This presentation will be about area and perimeter in geometry. Let's get this lesson started by defining perimeter. Have you ever heard of this word before? For those of you who don't know yet, perimeter is the distance around a closed geometric figure. Look at the sample figures so you'll get the idea. We have different geometric figures, so there are also different ways in solving for the perimeter depending on what figure we are talking about. The perimeter of a rectangle is the sum of twice the length and twice the width. The formula is P is equal to 2L plus 2W, where L is the length and W is the width. Now let's try finding the perimeter of this rectangle. The dimensions are already given. We just need to identify which one is the length and which one is the width. The length is the longer side. So, L is equal to 10 and W is equal to 6. It gets easier from here. We will use the formula for finding the perimeter of a rectangle. That is, P is equal to 2L plus 2W. Now we just need to substitute the values of L and W. That is 10 and 6 respectively. After substituting, we now have the sum of 2 times 10 and 2 times 6. Following the PEMDAS rule, we should first multiply. Then the expression becomes 20 plus 12, because 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times 6 is 12. Adding results to 32. Then we now have P is equal to 32. P represents the perimeter. Thus, the perimeter of the given rectangle is 32 inches. Let me give you another study tip. Usually the length is identified as the longest side of a rectangle. However, either side can be the length or the width. To prove that either side can be the length or the width, let's try finding again the perimeter of the given rectangle, but use 6 as the length and 10 as the width. Again, we will use the formula. P is equal to 2L plus 2W. The same procedure applies here. Substitute L equals 6 and W equals 10. Now we have 2 times 6 plus 2 times 10. Simplify the multiplication first. 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times 10 is 20. So we are left with 20 plus 12. Now add 12 and 20. The sum is 32. Then P is equal to 32. We found the same answer, which is 32 inches. We've proven that either of the sides can be the length or the width. We learned how to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Now let's learn how to solve for the perimeter of an irregular figure. Let's try finding the perimeter of this figure. As you can see, the distances of all the sides are given. Going back to the definition of a perimeter, we said that it is the distance around a closed figure. So we just need to add the distances of all the sides. That is, perimeter, P, is equal to 6 3/4 plus 5 1/2 plus 7 plus 14 3/8 plus 12 1/4. Now let's solve them. We have mixed numbers and one whole number. To add, we just need to write the equivalent fractions with denominators 8. We need to multiply the fractions by a number that will make all of their denominators 8. Doing so, our solutions become like this. Then adding the fraction gives us the value of P, which is 44 and 15 over 8, or simply 45 and 7 over 8. Thus the perimeter is 45 and 7 over 8 meters. Let's try finding the perimeter of another geometric figure. Find the perimeter of this triangle. Since everything is given, this is very easy to solve. We just need to add the length of the sides of the triangle. That is, P is equal to 6.2 plus 5.6 plus 4.3. Adding results to 16.1. So, 16.1 is equal to P. Thus, the perimeter of the triangle is 16.1 centimeters. That's enough knowledge about perimeter. Now let's move to the next topic. How do we get the area of a rectangle? What is an area in the first place? If you don't know yet, the area is the size of a two-dimensional geometric figure. The area of a rectangle is the product of the length and the width. Putting the concept into a formula, we have A is equal to L times W, where L is the length and W is the width. Let's have an example. We will find the area of a rectangle on the right. The dimensions are already given in the figure. So first, identify which one is L and which one is W. Remember what we said earlier? It doesn't really matter which one we set as the length or the width. the answer will be the same if solved correctly. However, the longer side is usually taken as the length. So L is equal to 15 3/4, or simply 63/4. On the other hand, W is equal to 4 8/9, or simply 44/9. Let's use the formula A is equal to L times W. Then we will substitute the values of L and W. After that, we now have A is equal to 63/4 times 44/9. We can still simplify these fractions. To get the simplest possible answer, we will simplify before multiplying. Divide 63 and 9 by their GCF, which is also 9. Do this with the other numbers. Divide 4 and 44 by their GCF, 4. Now everything is simplified. We can proceed to multiplication. That is 7 times 11 over 1 times 1. Simplify this even more. Then A is equal to 77. Thus the area is 77 feet squared. Our lesson about area and perimeter in geometry ends here. For different figures, there are different ways of finding the perimeter and the area. But what's important is that you understand the concept and the definitions. I hope you learned a lot today. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.